morning, everyone. Good morning, Asheville. Good morning, St. James. I hope you have a happy morning. Let's try it again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, St. James. Hey, be glad. Come out. It might be cold, but it's going to be warm up in here. Warm with fellowship, warm with happiness. My name is Jonathan McCoy. I'm the Vice President of the Martin Luther King Jr. Association of Asheville and Buncombe County, and we want to welcome you. But first of all, I'm going to ask for us to be welcomed in this place by Miss Pamela Jones, who is a steward here of St. James A&E, and they are welcoming us to their house.
Good morning, Asheville.
Good morning.
I'm so glad y'all have decided to pay us a visit with your presence on this wonderful day. Make our church your home, and you are all welcome here, and act just like you are at home. We have never met a stranger here, and we love everyone. Now we must remember the occasion, which is to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was also an Alpha Phi Alpha man. And he was married to an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman. So we know what that means. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with this scripture. It is from Amos chapter 5, verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Welcome.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful welcome. As we were getting started, Bam was playing Somebody Prayed for Me. You know, that's what really this weekend, what this holiday is all about. In words and deeds and thoughts, we're praying for one another. We're praying for ourselves. We're praying for our community, praying that we will continue working to become united, continue to work to create a bond of community that is strong, be it through natural disasters or man-made conflicts. That's what this is about. How can we come together in peace, in love, in unity? So welcome this day. As people may have seen on the website and through the news media, we are having our devotional today, and we are having our rally, except our rally will be here. So we will have our devotion, and then we will go right into our rally. We will not march. Just because as the forecast went, the temperature kept on going down, the wind chill, and the main thing is we march to the rally so that we can hear the message. And I want everyone to be able to hear the message that Ms. Renee White's going to bring us and not be worried about, she can hurry up because it's cold out here. So, though you still will get a chance to march, because even as we finish the rally, you can always march right over here to the Fellowship Hall, because St. James is having their fish fry Brunswick stew fundraiser. And that's an important event because the reason we're so happy to be here in St. James is that St. James is a foundational cornerstone of the community. They feed the hungry. They pray for those who are in need and those who do not realize they're in need. They have a physical and spiritual presence. Fundraising of their fish fry helps do that, but more importantly, your presence today helps bring to mind. If somebody asks, what did you do today on Dr. King's birthday? I went to St. James, and I was part of the community to find out how we can work together to be unified. As we welcome just not only you that are welcome here, but we are also thankful for those officials, those leaders that we vote for and that have been appointed that come and make a point to be with us. We are thankful that Parker Sloan, who is a county commissioner, is here. Is Mr. Sloan here? Right here. You see a hand there. And then also Kim Rooney, who is on the city council. Kim, right there, Kim Rooney. She comes to all our events. Are there any other elected officials that are here with us? Right back here in the back. So elected or unelected, people are here. And we're going to celebrate being here together as people in fellowship. And in doing that, we ask now that Reverend Stephanie McCloskey, who is the chaplain at Mars Hill University, will come and give us the invocation.
Good morning. Good morning. Would you pray with me? Holy God, God of justice and of mercy and of compassion, you are our God. And God, you know. And for that we are thankful. You know what today is, you know what today means, and you know all that today holds. And for that we are thankful. God, you know what we brought into this place with us on our shoulders today. You know the burdens that we carry. You know the cares and the worries and the fears and the doubts. You know the losses, the sorrows, and the dreams deferred. And for that, we are thankful. And God, our God, you also know the beauty of what we brought into this space with us today, carried in our hearts. And God, we ask that in this time, within these walls and across our land, that you would join the courage of one person to the compassion of another, the strength of another, and the mercy of another, and the grace of another, and the wisdom of another, and the knowledge of another, and the kindness and generosity of yet another. And in this way that you would build and we would become your beloved community. God, in this space and in this time, we ask that you would help us open our eyes and our ears and our hearts and our minds to be changed, to be transformed, to become more like the people that you would have us to be. God, in this time and in this space, we pray wholeheartedly that this would belong to you, that this would honor your purpose and your vision, and glorify your name. And it is in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Savior and our friend and our guide and our exemplar of agape love, that we pray this morning. Amen. Amen.
I'd now like to invite here to the podium Dr. Orlean Simmons, who is the president and founder of the Martin Luther King Jr. Association.
Good morning. Good morning. One more time. Good morning. It's just so great to see you here, and it is an honor and pleasure to greet and welcome you to our annual Martin Luther King Peace March and Rally, sponsored by the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Association of Asheville and Buncombe County, with our board members, Jonathan McCoy, Jennifer Nielsen, Dr. Monique Taylor, Elizabeth Costerville, Vanessa Funderburg, Patrick Kruder, Sarah Thornburg, and Dr. Elizabeth Colton. Celebration Committee members, Reverend Doug Bynum, Dr. Sarah Himhelber, Ann Carpenter, Apostle Inez Ray, David King, and Darrell Rhymes. Looking out today, I am reminded about a story that I heard when I was much younger. And I see that our group today is small, but big in heart and in love. And this story that I heard was about this young preacher that was going to do his first sermon. And just as one couple showed up, the husband and the wife. And so he said, I'm going to give you the whole sermon today. So they sat down and he listened to and they listened to him. And yes, he did the preaching, he did the singing. And then he passed the plate to collect the money. And so the husband for the couple stood up and said, I heard you say you were going to do the whole sermon, but I didn't know you were going to do the whole load. And I say that to you today because you are going to receive the whole load. I now take this opportunity to say thank you to Jonathan McCoy for chairing the annual Peace March and Rally. Thank you to St. James Church, Reverend Doug Bynum, and choir. The Buncombe County Sheriff Department, Quentin Miller Sheriff, and the City of Asheville for co-sponsoring this event. Thank you to the keynote speaker that we will hear later on today. I'll close at this time by saying, let us rise up with a greater readiness and determination.
If you're looking at your program, you'll see that it got switched up. I was supposed to do the recognition of officials at this point and not at the beginning, but I wanted to make 2 points as we've been trying to change. One, again, that we're not marching, but we're having a rally in here. We had to make a change for the weather. But I wanted to make note of why it was important for me, or to me, that we had this occasion again here at St. James. Reverend Bynum came St. James in May. new to Asheville, new to the church, trying to let them know who he is, trying to find out who they are, and then Helene hits. Now, just before Helene hit, I reached out to Reverend Bynum and said, we want to have our Peace March devotional in St. James like we've had before. He's like, oh, okay, this is what has happened. Oh. And he jumps right in. Okay, I'd like to be a part of it. I'd like to learn more. Then Helene hits. But he has stayed involved. He has stayed committed. His whole thing has been, since he's come here, that he wanted to know this community that he is now a part of and wanted to be a part of the celebration. And so that was one thing that made it important. Asheville is his home. And so I want the occasion for him to be able to present himself to his new home, and his new home be able to find out about him. And also to find out about this church that he's pastoring. For some, it's the first time they've come into the doors. It might be the first time they've actually noticed that the church is there on this small hill. But it's been here. And so that was important. Now, as Dr. Simmons was telling about the pastor and passing the plate, I was also struck by this thing. As you have read, maybe if you were at the breakfast about my biography, my father was a prison chaplain. And I always used to laugh. He was a pastor that never got a chance to pass the plate because they don't take up offering inside the prison. And so I said, so they got the word, but they didn't have to give any money. But I said, that's not what the word is all about, but that's also not what the offering is about. The offering is how you find out how you support the community. And so that's why we also like to emphasize the fundraiser. How do you support the community? And so as I sit down, and we will have music once more from St. James, following that selection from the Horrific Dance, we'll then hear words from Reverend Bynum.
right. I am I would say a proud papa, but definitely a proud pastor in this moment. It is still morning, and so for just a few more minutes. And first, I just want to recognize the universal force that I call God that has brought us to this place. And thank the members and friends of St. James that have made our experience today possible. And to Dr. Orlean Simmons, Reverend Jonathan McCoy, the board and celebration committee members, and to this beloved community thus assembled. Is it still morning? Good morning. I must tell you, the committee has done a potentially dangerous thing this morning. They put a preacher in front of a sanctuary full of eager and excited congregants. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we'll see. If today were a Sunday morning, I might select a pericope of scripture telling the story of an ethnic minority immigrant named Esther, who found herself in a tenuous situation. Her community was marginalized, oppressed, and experiencing political divisions that threatened their very existence. Does any of this sound familiar? I think I'm having a deja vu moment. Esther's particular situation was a balance of being true to her identity while living in proximity to the seat of a dangerous power, yet she still had agency. Without going into all of the details, perhaps the questions underpinning her uncle Mordecai's appeal are the same questions facing us today. Are you willing to exercise your position of privilege and spheres of influence, or will you remain bystanders to the increasingly more frequent power grabs and divisive plans that hit too close to home? Alas, today is not Sunday morning. I noticed in the program that they didn't say message or the word or any of those things. I think it was a clue to me. It said that my task is to bring the occasion, and so I'll do just that. Beloved, the occasion is, it's time to make lemonade. Yes. It's time to make lemonade. Some turns of phrases become so universal that if the first words are uttered, nearly everyone can finish the sentence. For instance, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You see, this figurative and proverbial phrase is used to inspire positivity and optimism in the midst of a bitterness and adversity. The bitterness of lemons represents the sourness and difficulties that life can bring, while the resulting lemonade is a sweet, thirst-quenching satisfaction born from those same challenges. The question some of a certain generation, and I'm just taking a stab in the dark here as I look around the room, might be, how do you make lemonade? You see, I'm not talking about the country time lemonade that you find on whatever aisle that is at Walmart. I'm not even talking about the packets of Crystal Light that you tear open and pour into your water bottle. But today we're talking about the real thing. How do you make lemonade? First, we must take the acerbic lemon with its lip-puckering bite and pierce the tough exterior with the sharp edge of a blade until you are able to reveal its innermost parts. Blunt force won't work. Only the precision that comes like a blade to cut through the fruit. Next, tension and pressure must be applied to expel the acidic pulp and juice before agitating with the sweetness of sugar and the chilling blocks of ice. Once the agitation has begun, we temper the mixture with cool water to balance the blend of divergent ingredients. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Can y'all help me out? In a society faced with injustice, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. In a nation where inequality persists, when life gives you lemons, in a world where oppression weighs heavy, we step up to our call. When life gives you lemons, in a community divided, our task is to resist the efforts of resegregation and resonate a single unified voice. When life gives you lemons, in the face of hatred and prejudice of all kinds, when life gives you lemons, in times of despair and hopelessness, our mission is never fading. When life gives you lemons, when economic disparity grows, we dig deep and help each other to flip the tables. When life gives you lemons, with every challenge, trial, and societal ill, we must come together and make lemonade. I am also a teacher by trade, or educational consultant now. So I just got to do this before I leave you. And that's a quick formative assessment. And so I have just one question for you. Do you remember how to make lemonade? Yes, first we have to pierce through the tough exterior with our presence to cut through the bitterness of injustice and the pith of lingering inequality. We must apply tension and pressure to extrude the negativity, the evil and selfish wickedness of our society. We must agitate the system to break up the tribes, the cliques, and the political gangs that so eagerly work against unity and dignity in favor of self-aggrandizement. We must sprinkle the coolness of peace and the sweetness of love like sugar and ice. And then we must blend with the cool water from our collective well, the common good that makes us all better, allows us all to dwell together as brothers and sisters. Beloved, the dream is not dead. In fact, we are living King's legacy and still building the dream. Don't let 4 more years, Don't let 4 more years make us shrink from our place at the table. Let's make lemonade. Don't drown in the quicksand. Don't you dare drown in the quicksand of playing the blame game. Let's make lemonade. Don't compromise your morals and ethics, but rather pursue them all the more intently. Let's make lemonade, y'all. 4 years may seem like a long time, but there are many elections and spaces for our civic engagement well before then. Let's make lemonade. And so don't lose heart. And above all else, let us remember the message from Paul. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. We're perplexed, but not in despair. We're persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. It's time to make lemonade. I hear our hands coming together, but let's make sure our feet do some walking too. Maybe not today. You may be seated as I help the choir with introducing this next song. It may be a familiar song to many of us because it is a song of the movement. It is a protest anthem of determination and encouragement. During marches and demonstrations, the whole assembly would join in singing together to strengthen each other's resolve. So we invite you today to do the same thing. We are dedicated and decidedly determined that we won't let anything nor anybody turn us round.
say thank you for that choir to inspire and remind us of the history that we're celebrating. Now I ask for Dr. Simmons to come up and get us ready, though we're not marching, get us ready as we transition to our rally portion here in the sanctuary.
Brass your heart band. You have the brass your heart band. It is time for us to start marching. Remember I said you're gonna get the whole full load today? This is a march and a rally. So we're gonna march today. Everybody, on your feet, please. Everybody, stand. Let's march. And the brass band's gonna come. I don't see you marching. That person beside you and say, I'm marching today.
That's the Brass Your Heart Band. Thank you for setting us into this rally. As we rally forth, I want you to think about, again, the rally is about energy. We are celebrating that we have the energy, the focus, the desire to want to become together. We're not in a state of despair, but in a state of hope. You don't get up sad and go out into this cold sad and gather with a whole lot of other people that you don't know, sad, listen to this music, sad, listen to the minister, sad. You can't be here sad. You can't be here not involved. If there's something making you frown, then you need to think about what's making you frown. And what we're here for is, like the saying goes, is to turn that frown upside down. We're here to gather energy from one another so that we can go forth with a greater readiness and greater determination to do the work to stay united. To become and stay a community. That's what this rally is about. That's what peace is about. That's what I was talking about when you read Dr. King, when peace becomes obnoxious. Because it becomes obnoxious if you don't stand for injustice. And you call for peace. Then that's when people have a problem for you, because you're calling out what's wrong. People have a problem with peace. It becomes obnoxious when you start saying that, hey, there needs to be a fair wage. Hey, there needs to be affordable housing. Hey, we need to stop this gentrification. Hey, there needs to be food security. Hey, there needs to be better and dependable education. Hey, there are ways that we need to work to improve our community so it becomes together and stays together instead of looking for ways to frown at each other, be mad at each other, and be divided. That's what the Peace Rally is all about. That's what we're celebrating. That's what we're calling for. We're going to tap into our spirit of togetherness. I'm going to ask the Brass Your Heart. You have another one in you right now? Do you have another song that you can play? If you can go ahead and play another song, and as the Brass Your Heart finishes this song that they're about to play, we will then hear from our speaker, Renee White, who is a pillar in our community. A pillar in our community. And if you say, well, wait a minute, how do I know that? Well, if you come on down to this community in St. James and you know where the heart is of this community, who expresses the needs, desires of this community, it's one Renee White. And if you know Asheville, you know, if you look at it, where's the heart of Asheville in this community? And so we're going to hear from the heartbeat of Asheville, heartbeat of the community, Renee White, following this selection from the Brass Your
y'all got that fire. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, we would have been pretty warm at Senior County Plaza with that going on. How in the world do you come behind a preacher that's saying make lemonade? But I'm gonna add one thing to that lemonade deal. Make it with real sugar. Don't use stevia. Don't use any substitutes. Make it with real sugar, and that lets people know you are for real. Thank you, Reverend Bynum. What a wonderful rally. What a wonderful day. And I want to do one more thing. I want Gabby to come down here for just a second. I want to change up what I have to say for just 1 minute. As y'all know, St. James is my home church. But it's a poor frog who don't toot the horn of their own. And this child here, this is our future. Gabby, I'm really full about her because she never says no. She always is willing to participate, and she gets out there and she does a wonderful job. So we are so proud of you, and keep up the good work. I love you. And thank you to her mother, who always makes sure that she's there, and to our church family, who always supports Gabby and makes sure that she's going to be okay, because she's our future leader. And that's what we need. I need for Gabby to come behind me and do the work that I'm doing. And that's what we need. And we need 10,000 more just like her. So thank you, Gabby, and thank you to her mom. So good afternoon. It is the afternoon now, and boy, my energy is good. Woo! I'm like, am I going to have the energy to speak up here when I get through with this band in here? But to Dr. Orlean Simmons, to the Martin Luther King Association and the Board of Directors, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Committee, thank you so very much for all the hard work that you put in into making this entire weekend such a success. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And thank you to Reverend Bynum, who, like they said, he's only been here for a little while. But trust me, I'm president of the Neighborhood Association. I'm volunteer of the year for the city of Asheville. I'm vice president of the Asheville Buncombe County Land Trust. I am many things, but trust me, when I met Reverend Bynum, I didn't have the energy for him. This man, he came into this church, and he's right, when he came, the hurricane hit, and I have never seen a preacher roll up their sleeves, put his boots to the ground, and do the work that this man has done. So we thank you, Reverend Bynum. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. He was new to Asheville when this all happened. Thank you. Thank you. He let us know that the church is just not these walls. The church reaches outside these walls, and the community is what makes the church. We have to reach out, and he's helped us to do that when the storm hit. It's funny because my neighborhood association, we kind of had a plan in place for if some kind of emergency happened, such as a hurricane. We were thinking more like a war, but we had a plan in place that would kind of give us some of what to do and how to do it and how to implement it. So when the hurricane hit, my next door neighbor, who Judy, I don't think she's here, but she was just tremendous in calling our neighborhood together and implementing our neighborhood plan. So we were able to put block captains out, going door to door. They carried my water to flush the toilets. We had a whole team of people who came together and helped everybody in not only this neighborhood, but in the city of Asheville and in Buncombe County. So our plan actually was implemented before we actually finished the plan because of the storm. But now we know what to do and what not to do, because now we can perfect that plan. And if this should happen again, we'll have a solid plan that lets us know what to do and how to do it. And Reverend Bynum, when I called him, I said, Reverend Bynum, people need supplies. What are we going to do? Open up the church, Renee. And we opened this church up when the storm first hit. And if we didn't have supplies coming from Kalamazoo and everywhere else, little bitties, people could come over to St. James Church in the fellowship hall, get anything that they needed, including a kind word from somebody or a hug if they just needed that. So we are so grateful and so thankful that he was willing to do that, that St. James became a hub up for people during the time of the storm, to help people out if they needed it. And not just for this neighborhood, but for the entire city, Buncombe County, surrounding counties. We even started sending things to those counties where people's houses went down the water. Because our houses in East End didn't go down the water, but a whole lot of other people's did. And so we had the resources to send out to those counties and those places. That's what we did. And that's what it was all about, people helping people. So I thank you very much for your participation and how you were able to say, yes, Renee, come on, and we did. So we thank you for that. I am president of the East End Valley Street Neighborhood Association, and let us rise up with the greater readiness and determination. As we reflect back on the Hurricane Helene, just think about it. We have already really rose to that challenge. Helene caused us to get ready and certainly gave us determination. I feel that Dr. King would have been proud of us at that particular time of how we became one. And when I think about this band and I think about the fact that if you think about Dr. King and as they're marching and when they look ahead, all they can see is dogs ready to attack them. But they kept on marching. I think about John Lewis going across the bridge. They kept on marching. And that's what we have to do. We have to keep on marching with readiness and determination. I feel that people helping people will always be the key. Looking out for each other and banding together. We all became equals. And as Dr. King would have said, regardless of your race, your creed, or your color, we became one. It's a celebration of how we can all be unified and how we can all come together. Reflecting back and thinking about how far people have come, it brings to mind that Black people no longer have to sit in the back of the bus, thanks to Rosa Parks. It brings back being able to vote, thanks to Selma Montgomery marches. And it brings back Allensworth, the first all-Black California township founded and financed by African Americans. Created by Lieutenant Colonel Allen Allensworth in 1908, the town was built with the intention of establishing a self-sufficient city where African Americans could live their lives free of racial prejudice. It brings back how in 1938, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt challenged the segregation rules at Southern Conference on human welfare in Birmingham, Alabama, so she could sit next to an African American educator and a friend of hers who she thought was fitting enough for her to sit beside. It makes us think about how Roosevelt would come to refer to Bethune as her closest friend in her age group. It brings back how T. Davis, a runaway slave, who actually swam across the Ohio River to escape slavery. And so, in 2025, we have much work to do. Our vision of reparative justice needs to continue not just one day, not just 1 week, every month and every year. We must bring back economic and generational wealth. Everyone should have equal opportunity to own a business, to own their own homes. Seniors should be able to age comfortably in their own homes and age in place. Our churches will be the foundation of our legacy, as that's how we were in the past. I remember thinking about this neighborhood itself and how Mr. Porter, who was a Black man in this neighborhood who owned a store and a laundromat, how Mr. Bud, who had a corner store in this neighborhood, we would always go to Mr. Bud's store to get the big dill pickles in the jar. They're the biggest pickles, but they only charge you 10 cents and you put them in a white piece of paper and you left out of next door eating your pickles. That was right on the corner here in East End. I remember how we had Miss McQueen, who had a Black cafe downtown Asheville on Eagle Street, where you could get some of the best soul food you ever wanted to eat. And not to mention Miss Jeanette. It's a few dollars, you know about Miss Jeanette, where you get the best fried chicken and fish, piping hot on Eagle Street that you ever could eat. But St. James is going to help that, because go right over there next door and get you a piece of piping hot fish. We can handle that part of it. We'll continue that legacy. All of these Black businesses were right here in East End. And unfortunately enough, they are now gone. And unfortunately enough, we have no replacements at this time. But that's how we need to get ready and come back with determination. Because we need to bring back those black businesses. We need to bring back the corner store. We need to bring back the things in our community that meant the most to us. That's when family was family. As I live right across the street from the church, I would always say, and Miss Jack stayed around the corner. She had the biggest apple tree you ever want to see. We would go to Miss Jack's house and, well, forgive me, Lord, steal the apples. We wouldn't get permission to get those apples. But there was so many, we thought, oh, she's got an abundance of apples. We can certainly get some apples. Well, lo and behold, by the time we get to our house and back around the corner, she's already called our parents. And here we go getting in punishment and a whooping for taking Miss Jack's apples. Now, I could understand that. There were plenty of apples. Come on, Miss Jack, share the apples. But parents were able to discipline their children. Your parent could discipline me. Your parent could discipline me, and there was no problem. That's how we grew up as family and how we grew up as a neighborhood united. And we need to take it back to that. Because we have to invest in our kids and make sure that our kids know the right and wrong things to do and what paths to take. And that's how we were raised and how I grew up. And we have to bring it back to that. We have to stand for something, because if we don't, we get absolutely nothing. We have to take that little bitty mustard seed and have faith. Faith enough to know that our children are able to close the achievement gap. Determination and readiness to know that everyone should have equal opportunity to own a home or a business. Determination and readiness to know that we must be proactive in slowing down drug overdoses and drug use. We must educate ourselves and vote for people who have our best interests at heart. And hold our politicians accountable for what we need and how we need it. Go to the city-county meetings. Go to the county commissioner meetings. Go to the PTA meetings. We have to be at the table. We have to be involved in order to make that difference. If we're not at the table, we're not going to get anything. And as the work, my work, your work, and all of our work is never done until we can see the positive change that keeps Dr. King's legacy alive. We need to continue to be Dr. King in America. The state, in the state of North Carolina, the city of Asheville, and in Buncombe County. So rise up, my people, attend the meetings. Go out and help your kids when they need help. Make sure that when it's time to vote, you go vote and take 10 or 15 people with you. We have to make a difference, and the difference comes in this political power. And if we don't stand up and vote, we're going to lose it all. We have to be proactive in these things that we're doing. So, work in your communities. Lend a helping hand when needed. Be kind to one another. And most of all, love each other. Reach out and always touch somebody's hand to make this world a better place. Live with readiness and live with determination every day. Not just on King Holiday, but look forward to do every day that we provide ourselves the resources and the means to continue this legacy each and every day. Look forward to an increase in our economic statuses. Look forward to living in a world where racism and injustices will subside. Look forward to living in communities where we are not judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Look forward to rising up with readiness and determination to make this world a better place. Readiness is determined as, and defined as, being fully prepared for something. Determination is a firmness of purpose. So when you put those two together, you know what we get? We are fabulous. We are powerful. We are capable. We are talented. We are special. We are important. We are valued. We are empowered. We are respected. We are deserving. We are brave, and we are loyal. So I thank you today for allowing me to be your speaker. It certainly has been a wonderful experience. And rise up, City of Asheville, with readiness and determination. Thank you.
And that's why we had to rally inside today because, again, I said I didn't want us to be out there marching in the cold and everybody worried about their toes and not hearing the word being brought from Renee White. Thank you again. Because Ms. White touches on a key part of what this rally is about. Not just the inspiration, not just the call for us to be unified, but what's the purpose? Purpose isn't just to get by. It's not just to survive, but to thrive. It's not just for me, it's also for the young people who come behind us. Right? Asheville, Western North Carolina will not thrive from Helene unless we work as a united community so that our young people will say, it's worth me being here. It's worth me staying here. It's worth me investing my time, my energy, my focus on this community because my community wants me here. They supported me here. If we're not going to support one another, we're not supporting them. And if they're not being supported, they're not going to be here. They're not going to stay here. And if they aren't here, if they're not staying here, then the community's dying. One thing my father always talked about, be it when he preached in the prison or when he was asked to preach in the church. He says, as adults, we have a tendency, you can hear it right now, we have a tendency when children in the church make some noise, we always tell them to be quiet, hush. Adults are talking. Serious business is going on. But he said, here's the one thing you got to keep in mind. If you don't hear anything in the church, if you don't hear children in the church, if children don't have a presence in the church, that church is dying. Because there's nobody coming from behind. There's no new generation. So what we say and what we do, if we're not working for us to become united, to inspire and teach the generation behind us so that they'll be inspired and teach the generation behind them, then all we're doing is treading water till we die. We're trying to survive and not thrive. We need to thrive. And that's why we're rallying. We're rallying for us to thrive. And so I ask for the Brass Your Heart to come, and as you should have a sheet with music on it. You saw that we had when the Saints were marching in, but now the Brass Your Heart's going to come and provide the music for the anthem of not only the African American community, but the anthem of the Civil Rights Movement, the anthem of a beloved community, where everyone, regardless of their color, their religion, their gender, their identification, their means, where everyone will be able to lift their voice and sing. Please stand.
going to try to say anything cute after all this load that we have received today. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so very much for everyone for being here today, and these great speakers have given us our marching orders. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so very much to the Martin Luther King Association for all of your hard work. For your planning and your time and your talent. I thank you very much. But I'll be calling in a few days. It's time for Black History Month and Rosa Parks Month, scholarship, and then Juneteenth. These are all of our programs that we have to look forward to today. And we invite you to continue to support our association and attend these upcoming events. Please go to our website and join us. Our association does not just work to do a program for Happy Birthday, Dr. King in January. We celebrate Dr. King all year long. So we invite you to do the same.
Again, as we leave here, again, thank you for making the time. Not just taking the time, but making the time to get dressed and come out in the cold, to come on down and to gather side by side with one another. Hopefully you've taken the time and made the effort to get to know someone here, someone you didn't know, so that as you leave here, you can keep on working on those bonds that will unite us as a community, as we can continue to touch one another. And as we leave here again, as we keep on saying thank you again, St. James, for having us come in and have these people come in and be a part of your fellowship, be a part of your service. Thank you for your support of the community. Again, you might be smelling it, saying, well, it's Little Cat's lunchtime. Fish fry and Grandma's favorite Brunswick stew. So we have fish fry and Brunswick stew that's doing fundraising that St. James is doing throughout the day. Please tell your friends to come on down because, again, the funds they raise is not just for the church but for the community as we see the work that they do. But please go in fellowship, go in peace, and go in love and share those blessings of peace, hope, and love with another. Thank you.